Aries, welcome. This is your 2026 horoscope and astrology forecast. 2026 is not just another year for you. It marks a turning point in how you see yourself, your direction, and the role you play in your own life. This is a year where action becomes meaningful again, not rushed, not reactive, but intentional. As you listen, allow yourself to slow down. This message is not meant to push you forward aggressively. It is meant to help you understand where your energy truly belongs now. Trust what resonates. Let the rest pass. Identity, direction, and planetary influences. For Aries, 2026 is a year of redefining identity. You may have spent the past few years acting out of momentum rather than clarity, moving forward because stopping felt uncomfortable, or because slowing down felt like losing ground. In 2026, that pattern changes. This year asks Aries to understand why you move, not just how fast. One of the most important influences shaping 2026 is the long-term shift involving Saturn and Pluto, which encourages deeper self-awareness and responsibility. You are being asked to mature, not by losing your fire, but by directing it wisely. You may feel moments where your old sense of self no longer fits. Goals that once motivated you may suddenly feel empty. This is not failure. This is evolution. Mars, your ruling planet, emphasizes strategic action rather than impulsive reactions in 2026. You are learning that true power comes from timing, not force. Many Aries will experience a pause before a major decision, a desire to reassess life direction, a stronger awareness of personal limits. This year teaches you that rest is not weakness and reflection is not stagnation. By the second half of 2026, clarity strengthens. You begin to act again, but now with purpose, patience, and confidence that is rooted in self-knowledge. This is how Aries becomes unstoppable, not through constant motion, but through aligned action. One of the most important lessons Aries carries into 2026 is learning the difference between movement and progress. For a long time, forward motion has been your comfort zone. When things felt uncertain, acting quickly gave you a sense of control. When emotions became heavy, distraction through action helped you cope. In 2026, life gently slows you down, not to block you, but to redirect you. You may notice moments where you feel temporarily unmotivated, restless, or unsure of your next step. This is not a loss of drive. This is a recalibration. This year teaches Aries that clarity does not come from force, but from presence. When you stop pushing, you begin to hear what truly matters. When you pause, you recognize which desires are authentic and which were driven by fear, competition, or the need to prove yourself. 2026 invites you to build a relationship with yourself that is not based on constant achievement. You are learning how to value consistency over urgency, depth over speed, and alignment over adrenaline. Once this shift settles, Aries regains momentum, but this time it feels different. Your actions feel cleaner, your decisions feel grounded, and the path ahead feels less like a battle and more like a direction you trust. Love and relationships. Love in 2026 brings emotional honesty. Aries is often passionate, intense, and quick to commit, but this year asks you to slow down emotionally and listen more carefully. If you are single, you may notice that surface-level attraction no longer satisfies you. You are less interested in chasing excitement and more interested in mutual respect and emotional presence. Connections that form in 2026 may develop gradually. They may feel quieter at first, but they hold potential for long-term growth. If you are in a relationship, 2026 highlights communication and emotional accountability. Unspoken tensions may surface, not to create conflict, but to restore balance. You are learning how to express desire without dominance and independence without emotional distance. Some relationships strengthen through this maturity. Others may end if they no longer allow you to grow authentically. This is not loss. This is Aries choosing alignment over intensity. Career and finances. Career and finances in 2026 emphasize long-term strategy. You may feel less drawn to impulsive risks and more focused on building something sustainable. This is a year where planning becomes empowering rather than restrictive. Aries thrives when challenged, and in 2026, the challenge is patience. This year favors setting clear goals, pacing your efforts, investing time rather than chasing quick results. Financially, consistency matters more than bold moves. You may benefit from restructuring how you work, how you manage energy, and how you define success. 2026 reminds Aries that stability does not dull ambition, it strengthens it. What Aries should do and avoid. In 2026, Aries is asked to choose intention over impulse. What supports you most is learning when to act and when to wait. This is a year to pause before making major decisions. Listen to feedback without seeing it as limitation. Conserve energy for what truly matters. Commit fully, rather than starting many things at once. What Aries should avoid is reacting from frustration or impatience. Avoid pushing situations that are not ready to move. Avoid proving strength through constant action. True confidence in 2026 comes from self-trust, not urgency. Key moments and energetic turning points. Throughout 2026, Aries will notice several key energetic turning points rather than one single defining moment. The year opens with a slower, more reflective pace, especially in the first months. Early 2026 invites Aries to observe rather than act immediately. This period is important for setting intentions, reassessing direction, and understanding what truly deserves your energy moving forward. As the year progresses into late spring and early summer, momentum begins to return. This is when Aries may feel a renewed sense of confidence and motivation, but this time, it feels more grounded and intentional. Decisions made during this phase tend to have long-term impact, especially around identity, career direction, and personal commitments. Mid-year brings a powerful moment of recalibration. You may be asked to slow down again briefly, not as a setback, but as a final check-in before moving forward fully aligned. This is a time to listen closely to feedback, intuition, and your body's signals. The second half of 2026 feels more decisive. Actions taken now feel clearer, more confident, and less reactive. By late 2026, Aries often recognizes how much inner growth has already occurred, even if the external changes are still unfolding. Rather than one dramatic breakthrough, 2026 unfolds through a series of subtle but meaningful shifts. Each one gently guides Aries closer to a path that feels sustainable, purposeful, and true. Aries, this year, reminds you of something essential. You don't need to fight for your place anymore. You are learning how to stand firmly in who you are becoming. Your fire is still alive, but now it burns with wisdom. You act because it feels right, not because you are afraid of standing still. As 2026 unfolds, trust your timing. Trust the moments of pause. Trust the direction that feels calm, not chaotic. Everything meaningful begins with awareness. Thank you for being here. Trust what resonates and allow the rest to pass.